All right, team, we're back. We're gonna talk to Tesleen here, and we're gonna go meet with Alisaie. Now, again, reminder: Alisaie hasn't seen us for an entire year. Alisaie's been desperate to see you, Miro. So let's go. Let's get you to her sooner rather than later. The inn isn't too hard to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. We just need to swing around the ridge and head south. Come on, I'll get my supplies together and meet you outside. Ugh, sorry. All set? Oh, I should probably mention the wildlife. While most of them will leave you be if you keep the distance, the local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. I can usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I may have loaded myself down with too many bargains today. You think you can handle any beast to try to make a meal of us? I thought you might. Alisaie was always saying how much you... let's get going, shall we? Oh, I do. You're right. Thank you. I really should double check whether I've clicked that or not. Sorry about that, viewers. And thank you, Vector, for pointing it out. This mole wants to fight, apparently. Apparently this mole can take a fucking thrashing, because... Alright, that's done, finally. Tesleen's just standing there like a fucking champ. Sorry, there wasn't much time to shout a warning. Were you bitten? Those things can be nasty. And yet, hardly a match for you, it seems. I'd always thought Alisaie was strong, but in her mind, she was never... Now it makes sense. Well, we should push on. It might be best if you scout ahead and clear out any coyotes that have our scent. I'll wait here so you can fight without any distractions. Vector, do you prefer to fight with distractions or without? Like, do you like the handicap of it? Potency of 140. It's at 260, so slightly more potency to cast Holy on these guys. Now they want me to go back up there and meet with her again. Hey guys, I'm in Twitch right now. Not in the field of amber. Oh, thank goodness you're back. I could hear the howling and snarl from here. Frightful creatures. Let's hope the rest of you have seen your handiwork and know to avoid us now. I need these supplies back at the inn. Oh, we get to ride Baldol. No, Mr. Mole, we're not fighting right now. Ngozi. Ngozi. Ancient lizards. Oh, we're gonna aggro one of these probably. Oh no, he turned around, cool. Scissor jaws. Man, there are a ton of monsters just hanging out. This is it! Thanks to you, I didn't have to drop my shopping even once. Come to think of it, I'm glad I didn't make the trip alone. It seems you ended up escorting me. I'll have to repay the favor somehow. But first, let's head inside, shall we? So this is the inn, apparently. Welcome to the inn at Journey's Head. You might be our first visitor from the Castarium since Alisaie arrived. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carers. The afflicted? I have some skill with healing. The illness isn't contagious, is it? The afflicted? Sorry, I had to get a picture of Mira. You don't know? I don't think I've met anyone besides Alisaie who was so familiar with our situation here. Most folk have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. I might leave out something obvious, so it may be best to have Alisaie give you the full explanation. Alright. Let's talk to the Amaro dude, and then also to the Amaro Keep, and then find our attune to the ether right here. Kind of interesting this place has an ether, right? There we go. Hey there, Tesleen. Following her footprints. Now, where is she? I think she might be out on patrol. You could wait, I suppose, but why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first, so you might be able to catch her there. It's not far. Head out south side and you'll soon see it. I'll stay behind in case she comes back while you're gone. Right. Let's go see if we can find Alisaie. Oh good, there's zombies. That's reassuring. I was worried there wouldn't be zombies in this world. Oh, there's an ether current there. I completely forgot to check these. It'll be nice to fly again. The southwest. Okay, well, that's unfortunately in an area we can't get to yet. Alisaie's nowhere to be seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the ground, and they look like to be about the right size. Hey, 10 gauge. The small footprints lead off to the northwest. Why'd the screen fade out like that? That's weird. So, 10 gauge, we're in a new area. This is called Amarang. This is on the first, it's called. The footprints continue to the northwest. And lead me up through these Gilman. Boomerang. The footprints curve around to the west. Why does this song also remind me of Ragnarok Online? There are more tracks here, but they end in a mess of disturbed sand.
Get back here! Is that... It can't be. Ha!
Impressive.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about. I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner. How are you? We've fought them to a standstill, then. The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning, and even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters. That great wall of white is a remnant of the flood. 100 years ago, the balance in the first tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects. But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations. Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the flood. Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach. But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason, which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Well, that paints a grim picture. Sin Eaters don't sound great. It's just a matter of time. More for some, less for others. The patients will all become monsters in the end. And to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society, and exiled here to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say about this hellish place is that it has served me well as a training ground. Tesleen and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you. While you help me finish my patrol, of course. Culling their ranks. Here's what we'll do. I'll take the east side of the inn, and you clear the west. That way, we can have an undiluted experience with the resident terrors. These marks on your map are where the usual trouble spots are. You can assume that any beast with a white head or carapace is a Sin Eater, but you'll know for sure soon enough when they come slavering after your ether. Remember, it's a kill or be killed with these monsters. You fuck. This is not a Sin Eater, this is just an ancient lizard being a sack of shit. Unfortunately, as a healer, I don't get much option. Beyond that. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Let's check these spots and see if we can find ourselves some Sin Eaters. So, 10 Gauge, how are you doing today? Have you beaten up any small children? Yeah, there's a Sin Eater. Forgiven Cowardice, it's called. Actually, it's pretty hard. Its attack is called Tender Love. Do the IT people at your work count as small children? I mean, they act like it, apparently. If your accounts are accurate. Alright. Tender Love and Camp Drybone. I mean, we're kind of in Camp Drybone. At least in the other world's equivalent of it. Your dad was making fun of you, Minicat. Everything in this world is so angry. I'm gonna have to fight this mall. Oh no, I turned around. Okay. Whew. do like White Mage's casting animation. Just like floats up into the air. With another forgiven cowardice. Alright. Oh, we got a quest for an ether current already. Cool. Now we can speak to Alisaie at the inn, which again is just a bunch of rocks. The weather here is called Everlasting Light. Apparently they don't get any other weather. How did you fare? Oh, I thought there might be one or two lurking on the fringes. Nothing out of the ordinary for this area. I expect that you noticed it yourself, but individually, these lesser sin eaters are no more deadly than any natural predator you might encounter in the desert. It's when they appear in numbers that they pose a threat. Much like the void scent, they have an unfortunate tendency to flock to the strongest of their kind. Thus, when a powerful sin eater goes on the hunt, it might be attended by a veritable swarm of weaker kin. Imagine an army of such creatures descending on a village or hamlet. That's the basic idea behind my patrols. To call their ranks often enough that their numbers won't be overwhelming when the big ones come out to play. And you've certainly helped on that front. Let's report our victories to Tesleen, shall we? But yeah, here's what the sky looks like in this area. Like, while there's clouds and such, it's just always this. Alright. Hey there, Tesleen. Alisaie tells me you've helped out on her patrol. You have our thanks, and my apologies for leading you from one battle to another ever since the moment we met. In any case, I'm glad to see the two of you found each other. You have no idea how badly Alisaie has missed your company. Everything is always, if Mira were here, she would... That's an exaggeration, and I don't sound like that either. I was simply trying to view matters from another perspective, and I respect Mira's methods. Honestly, after seeing her in action, I can understand why. The way she leaps into the fray without hesitation, it really is something to behold. I might be a little smitten myself. I'm only teasing, though I've no doubt she deserves all the admiration she gets, just as you do. A purchase of fruit. I'd love to lay out a welcome meal, but the duties I put off when I went to the market are still waiting for me. There are 101 things that need doing. I'm sorry, but would you mind waiting here with Alisaie? What, and twiddle our thumbs while you work yourself to death? Surely there's something we can do to help you. I could do with a hand, it's true. Thank you. You can start by helping me sort out the larder, Alisaie. While we do that, could you tend to a few patients, perhaps? There are 3 in particular I meant to visit. It's just a matter of saying a few words to them and seeing that their skin isn't caked in sand. Their names are Ponel, Totten, and Halric. They may not give much in the way of a response, but I promise they'll be pleased to meet someone new. Alright, so they want me to meet Ponel first. So these are the people that are afflicted that we found out about. This guy does not look like he's in good shape. Thank you. Hey there, Todd. Are you okay, dude? Oh man, he looks pale. Eyes all sunken in. Todd glances up at you blankly, but you notice the tension in his face ease slightly. And this one is a child. Hey, Halric. How's it going, dude? Alec remains utterly still as you wipe the sand from his cheek. The texture of his skin is hardened into something akin to plaster. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'll say what's going on. Your work is done, then. You've seen to the patients. How were they? Good. That's good. I knew they would enjoy meeting you. I'm concerned about Howrick, though. I'll have to speak with the other carers, but I think that his time may be near. We shall leave you to have that discussion then. I was going to take Mira to Mordsuk if you have any errands that need doing. Well, I suppose there is one thing. Could you pick up a nectarine from the markets, please? Besides, the caravan just passed through, so Ronron should have some fresh fruit. Come then, Miro. There's something I want you to see. Right after we stop at Ronron's stall, of course. Alright. Let's teleport up there, because I don't feel like walking. While we're up here, I will also pick up this other quest, assuming it is the one I think it is for an Aether Current. By the way, we hit level 71. Did we get any gear 71? I don't think we did. No, I don't think so. We get something at 72. Okay, yeah, this is an Aether Current. I'm just gonna click through this though, because do not care. Oh ho, back again, are you? Need another taste of Ronron's wares? Actually, we're looking to buy a nectarine. Do you have any in stock? Oh yes, nectarines, peaches, grapes. Fresh and juicy. Given how richly you cracked your coin purse with me, I might still owe you food. Here, take this one, free of charge. Gods, I've never seen a Mork merchant give something away for nothing before. How much coin did you spend here? Oh yes, I'll take a jar of honeyed worms as well. Oh, they're not for me, it's an offering of sorts. The worms, if you please. Only the best wrigglers for you. Come again, my friends. Ah, right. That's our shopping chores taken care of. Let's head past the Aetherite to the main tower. The view I want to show you can only be seen from its very top. I think there used to be an Aetherite current up there. I think. Alright, Alisaie, where are you taking us? Here are your precious worms. That buys us a trip to the top of the tower, does it not? Ooh, glazed regulars! You actually brought them. I really shouldn't let you, but just this once, alright? Only once. Never fails. Shall we? Alisaie bribing the guards. It's weird that we have Ishgard music playing here.
Look, over there, where the wall is broken. Do you see what lies beyond? That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty white nothingness. Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance. That nectarine you bought, it's Halrick's favorite fruit. Most of the patients, Halrick included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same. The monster's corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light. The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true. Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food. In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals. I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough. But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed? Well, let's just say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons. But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield. So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here. And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless. On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
All right. Before we talk to Alisaie again, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back for the next leg of this journey. Don't go anywhere.